In this video, we'll be using the scissors and wool silicone mould to create these designs. This is everything I'll be using, but I'll talk you through it as we go. Please wear gloves and work in a well-ventilated space, and avoid working in direct sunlight as the UV light from the sun will start to cure your project. I'm working on waste sticker paper here, but there are various things you can use like greaseproof paper, silicone mat, or even masking tape folded back on itself. So to get started, we're mixing a small amount of the glitter and the resin together and then using the two sticks to pop this into your mould. Where the mould is trickier to get to, just hold the side of it open, drop your resin in, and then as the mould releases, it will push the resin into the more trickier spaces. Using the plastic stick, you can pick out details in your mould, like the knitting needles. Then run your UV torch over these sections just for a few seconds to stop them moving so you can add your next colour. Another way to colour the resin is to use a pigment. Here I'll be using a pinky red pearlescent pigment. You need a very small amount of the pigment to get started, because if you use too much, it will push it out when curing and you'll get an oily finish to your project, which you don't want. I keep mixing in the pigment until I'm happy with the colour and consistency. You still want your resin to move like honey, so you've got quite a lot of control with it when you're popping it in your mould. Again, hold open the mould to fill in the trickier sections. As long as no UV light reaches your project, you can work with it for as long as you need, and take care when curing sections that you don't accidentally cure resin that you'd like to use later on. When you're finally ready to fully cure your project, run the torch over it on a flat surface. After a few seconds, it will be cured enough that you can pick it up no problem, but it will still be tacky to the touch. This is why we need to fully cure it for the 2 to 4 minutes. Once you're satisfied that the project is cured, flip it over and run the torch over the rear side of the mould. If you're using a dark glitter, for example, you need to cure it for longer and you want to make sure that when you release it, it's fully cured. You're now ready to release your shapes from the mould, and don't worry, if you've made any spillages, you can just carefully break these off. If you'd like to pick out the details on the shapes, just dip your finger in a little bit of the paint and rub it onto the design. Then using a wet wipe, wipe off any excess, and this should leave the remaining paint highlighting those tiny details. I use the UV resin to attach the findings to. Just place a small blob of the resin onto your surface and then use the pin back to scoop it up. Then place this onto the back of your cured piece and let the resin level over the two surfaces. It's the overlap between the resin and the metal that gives it its strength. Then you just want to run the torch over it for a few minutes until fully cured, and you'll have a sturdy back on there. For the scissors design, we're going to turn this into a stitch marker. Just simply open up your ball pin, hook the scissors on there and close it, and you're ready to go. But you could also turn the scissors into a cute pair of earrings or a necklace. And there you go, all finished.